What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here at the stable, where we have a very busy day ahead of us because we're so close to getting this thing started. Like I've said before, the goal is to have the scraps thing running for this summer, and we're already in June, so I'm gonna call it this month. This thing is going to start. Hopefully I'm not jinxing myself, but we are pretty damn close. I can feel it, I can smell it. So let's get to work. As you guys know, there's been a major change in plans. We are now going with a FiTech system for the Scrappy Boy. So now we have to integrate this system within our plans. We can't really mock anything up with no engine in the car. Why is there a transmission here? Nothing to see here. Who the hell left this here? What do I do with it? Just gonna slide it back under the car, I guess. Also, I apologize if there's any excess noise. Those are probably the fans. It is a cool 130 degrees out here in Arizona. The only persons I know that would actually enjoy this weather are Canadians. I've noticed that we have a lot of subscribers and viewers from Canada. That's pretty cool. Supporting all the way from one border to the other. Also, have you guys seen the car hanging from our roof? It's a new chandelier. All the cool kids are doing it nowadays. All right. Ah, that's so good. Look how nice and leveled it is now that we moved it to this first port right here. I know a lot of you guys want me to paint this engine, and frankly, I'm starting to agree now because of the CVF Racing accessories. Now it makes the rest of the engine look like crap. Although I do agree that we should paint it. We are in a rush not to have a nice looking car. We're in a rush to have fun with this car. So it's not on our top priorities. I was about to throw the engine in, but I realized we don't even have the engine mount brackets. Again, I don't know why I buy 12-point hardware when I don't even own 12-point sockets. Also, if you guys remember, we discovered an issue with the driver's side motor mount bracket. It hits right here before it can go flush on the mounting points. You can't really grind away at the block. So the only thing to do now what do you know? It now fits. All right, with that taken care of, we can now... These stupid casters on this engine lift do not like to roll at all. They would rather not. So instead of turning and swiveling like they're supposed to, ooh. Actually, I'm gonna take out the transmission because it's kind of just like flopping in the way there. I could bolt it up, but I'm just gonna take it out. Luckily, I can't drop anything into the intake because we taped it. Because we were being smart. Before we get too carried away, let's get familiar with this system. The throttle body has 4 wiring harnesses coming out of this unit. This one over here is for our coolant temperature sensor. This one over here is for our O2 sensor. This one right here is for our handheld unit. This one right here we'll call the main harness because it holds quite a bit of functions. It has our 12-volt constant as well as 12-volt keyed on ignition source, fan control, tach input, as well as the power for the fuel pump. That also gets connected to this harness right here with the relay box, but we'll get into that in a sec. So the system itself is fairly simple. There's not a whole lot going on. The coolant temperature sensor literally just goes on like this. O2 sensor as well, simple connection. Nice audible click. And for the handheld controller, it comes with this extra long extension harness. So you can plug it in right here, just simple 2 connections. And this USB-C connector will get connected right into our handheld harness, and that should be all set. Now for the main harness, it has 2 plugs. This gray connector will go connected to this harness that holds our relay box. It gets connected right about here. This orange cable is going to go directly to our fuel pump. That's what's going to power it. And the red cable has to be connected to a direct source to the battery. So not a key-on ignition. It has to be 12 volts constant. The only connector left is this black and yellow one, which comes with this harness right here. And this small harness has our fan control, our tach signal, our key on signal, as well as this optional black wire, which would tell the system if the AC turned on in order to kick up the RPM just a bit. But we're not running AC, so that's not a worry. So that's pretty much it. It's fairly simple, not a whole lot going on. Before we throw it in the car though, we can get a rough idea of where these harnesses are going to go. For example, obviously the coolant temperature sensor and O2 sensor are going to stay within the engine bay. The handheld unit obviously goes in the cabin, but this main harness is pretty much optional depending on your application. This can be mounted within the engine bay and have it tucked nice and neat in there. But in our case, I want to minimize the amount of wires that are in the engine bay. So we're going to try to stuff that harness in the cabin as well. So now that we're familiar with the layout, let's see what it looks like in the car. Okie doke. Let's see what we gotta do. Oh yeah, she looks pretty right there. All right, so starting off with our coolant temperature sensor once again. This one is literally just going to get screwed right into this port on the intake. That's pretty much done. The O2 sensor harness, again, is staying in the engine bay. I'm not sure if it's gonna go to the right side of the exhaust or the left side of the exhaust. For the main harness, as well as the handheld harness, these are going to get fed in through the cabin. Those two harnesses will follow the same routing as these cables that are for the gauges, as well as our 12 volts for our ignition coil. Even with the additional wires of this kit, I still think we're gonna have a fairly clean engine bay. There's not gonna be a whole lot going on. And I mean, we're redesigning it and putting things exactly where we want them to go. So there should be no reason we dislike it. And since the relay box harness is going inside of the cabin, we're going to feed the main harness connectors through this port as well. And next up, the handheld unit harness. Once again, it just has two connectors. Pop it on, plop, plop. And this is also getting fed through that port. And that's pretty much it for engine bay stuff. Once this is all wrapped and tied down neatly, it's gonna look much better, but it already doesn't even look messy. As you can see, we have our main harness. It loops around here. It's going to go tandem with these cables and into the body. The coolant temperature sensor, there's a little bit extra cable here. I would have preferred it to be a little bit shorter, but it's whatever. That goes right here. Handheld wiring harness is right here. That also gets fed in, and O2 sensor is going to go down there somewhere left or right, doesn't really matter. So according to the instructions, which are very clear, we basically only need to connect 5 wires to make this all work, and those 5 connections are simply within these 2 harnesses. It's actually 6 connectors, but we won't be using this black wire. We have our red wire that goes to a constant 12 volt source, which is this red wire in this bundle right here. Then we have our orange wire, which is going to go directly to the positive side of our fuel pump. And that is in the same bundle as the red wire. Next up, we have the yellow wire that is for our fan input. And once again, guys, the FiTech system controls at what temp this fan kicks on. And the yellow wire is actually going to be connected to the ground of the relay for the fan. Next up, we have our white wire, which is going to go to our ignition switch. This has to be a key on 12 volt source. And lastly, our blue wire. This one's going to go to the negative side of our ignition coil. That is going to be the tach signal for the FiTech unit. And the instructions do come with various options, say if you're running an MSD box or an HEI distributor. We previously designed this wiring diagram to show how we want the engine bay wired. On the passenger side of the car, we have the ignition hub, and if you don't know what the ignition hub is, I would recommend going to watch our previous wiring video. From the ignition hub, this is going to feed our starter as well as our alternator. On the driver's side, we have our main fuse box, and from here, these wires are going to be oil pressure, coolant temp, and tach signal for our gauges, and we also have the 12 volt source for our ignition coil. So we have to work in the FiTech system within this wiring diagram. So right here we have our throttle body unit. So as you guys saw before, right here we're going to have our coolant temperature sensor. We're also going to have our O2 sensor that goes down here. 02. Then we will have the handheld unit that's going to go in the body. We're going to mark it as HH for handheld. And this is where it gets interesting because now we have to route those 5 wires. Starting off with our red wire that has to go to a 12 volt source. So since we know that that main harness will be going through the body, we'll start them from here. Starting off with that red wire, that is going to go directly into our ignition hub where it's going to receive a 12 volt constant. Next up, we have the fuel pump wire. I'm going to use green marker because I don't have an orange one. This one's going to go to the driver's side and head towards the back of the car. Then we have our key on ignition source, which is going to go directly to our ignition switch, key on. Next up, the yellow wire, which is for our fan control. That is going to go towards the driver's side as well. And it's going to pop out this way and head towards our fan or wherever we decide to mount the relay. And lastly, our blue wire, that one's going to go from this 6-pin connector out and towards the coil, which is going to be right here. It might look a little complicated right here, but I promise it's not. It only looks complicated because I'm not an artist. Alrighty, that relay box is now solid mounted onto that bracket. Gotta say, it looks kind of good there. So now all that's left to do is to determine where the 5 cables will go. That should be pretty easy considering we have a diagram. And also don't mind all of the billion other cables that are around here. We're in the middle of wiring this car. So ignore all those. We're just focusing on 5. Once again, fuel pump wire is this orange one. And from that relay box, the relay box is just on the other side of that bracket right here. But we have our orange cable and I'm going to route it in the same pattern as this right here. There we go, it's in there now. And from here, this orange cable is going to follow the same path as the rear body harness, which is going to go through the hole on the A-pillar, down through these holes, and under the door sills, over the quarter panel, and into the trunk area in the same way that the brake light circuit is, fuel sending unit, turn signals, and reverse light. I don't have them routed correctly through the A-pillar yet. I just have them outside right here, mocking the path for now while we get everything sorted, and then we'll have it wrapped and then install it correctly. So fuel pump cable is going towards the rear of the car. Now, what are we going to do with the red one? Diagram says that the 12 volt constant is going to go from the FiTech throttle body into the ignition hub. Ah, yes, ignition hub. So once the red wire is routed through the underside of the dash, it's going to end up here at the ignition hub, where we will end up connecting it right here at this terminal, which is a 12 volt constant, so it's always hot. If by any chance you're doing this on a stock build, a good place would be on this side of the starter solenoid or directly onto the battery. So now we just have to add our terminal end, which in this case I used a 5/16 eyelet terminal end. Good squish. Oh no, we scratched it. Alrighty, with this terminal end done and a little bit of heat shrink on it, we should be good to go. Alrighty, so red wire is installed. That one's good to go. Also, remember guys, that all of this wiring is not going to look neat. We're gonna leave it unwrapped until we turn it on and we know everything is good. Then we'll go ahead and make everything look neat and tidy and good to go. With the red wire good, next up we're gonna do the white wire, and if you guys remember, this is for the key on ignition power. So for the white wire, we're just going to add another terminal end, because on the back of the ignition switch for these cars, there's a little stud here, and this is for accessories. So that will give you a switched 12 volt source. And because we need a new ignition switch, this can't be wired just yet. So we're just gonna bundle it up with this cluster right here. That is for the new ignition switch. This will all be wired into that ignition switch. Next up is the blue wire that is for the tach signal. This is going to go to our ignition coil. So because this wire has to go back out to the engine bay, we're going to fish it through the same port that we've been using this whole time. And yes, that blue wire basically had to go into the cabin and then back out. But if we hadn't done that, then these connectors would have to be somewhere in the engine bay, and that's not the look I'm going for, so I'd rather have them down here. So the blue tach signal wire for the FiTech system is going to follow the same route backwards out towards the front of the engine where the coil is going to sit somewhere right here. I don't yet have a coil bracket, so we're not going to install that yet. We just have one more wire, which is the yellow fan wire. The yellow fan wire is going to have to be connected to the ground of the relay for this electric fan. We do have a really nice radiator. We don't yet have the electric fan nor the relays to do that, so we're kind of at a standstill. A couple of you have asked how you can sponsor parts for the scrap stang. Pretty easy, actually. I'll leave my PayPal information down below, as well as you guys can send parts, tools, or whatever you guys would like directly to this PO box right here. And speaking of PO box, we just received this. Oh, freaking sick. What a coincidence, because I was just flying this morning. For those of you who don't know, this is a knee board. So this thing will go strapped around your leg right here. So when I'm flying, I have my clipboard ready with some pens and some extra pouches right here. This is badass. I thank you. I will definitely be using this in the next flight video. And also shout out to everyone who watches the aviation content on this channel. I know it doesn't do as good as the scrap stang videos, but I've said it before, this channel was originally supposed to be for aviation content for my student pilot journey, but it morphed into all of this. But anyway, thank you to those who watch the aviation content. Like you guys have seen before, this is pretty much a community build. There's a lot of you guys helping me out with this build, and I appreciate that very much, as well as I appreciate every single one of our patrons. But yeah, until we have more parts on the way, we're pretty much at a standstill where we're at right now. We will continue in the next video with the small stuff, the nitty gritty, the little things like that, but we're so damn close, guys. We're so close to starting this engine. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you guys are excited to hear this engine rumble. With that being said, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.